What is up, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Flippin' Stoop. This episode I want to get into kind of why I make this video content and some of the reasoning why I got started reselling. And there's a lot that goes behind why I got into reselling. But the main part was the main reason I got into reselling, well, one is because I watched a video that encouraged me to get into it. But number two was I was sick and tired of dead-end jobs, right? And stream and like get paid and charge people for content to learn. I don't believe in that. If you do that, that's your shit, right? But I don't believe in that shit, right? There's never going to be a Patreon group of mine that you're going to pay for to have to join. I'll just give it to you free because somebody gave it to me free. And my belief is the only reason people pay for them Patreon groups, and if you're in this group and you pay for a Patreon group, don't take this offensive. It's just, all it is, it's you not believing that you can do it on your own understanding, right? That's what you basically got to understand. When it comes to reselling, I try to shoot after the younger generation a lot, but it's not only towards the younger generation, because look, this world is changing, and it's changing fast. If you're out there and you're looking for something that's going to pay decent, one, you heard me talk about colleges. How long is it going to take you to get, and I'm not discouraging you from going to college. If that's your thing, do your thing, right? But if you go to college for 10 years or 12 years, then how long, unless your parents are going to pay it all off, how long is it going to take you to, one, pay that off? And then how long does it take you? You got to go through the 10 years, 12 years to get a doctoral degree, master degrees, or whatever it is. Usually before you're even making any real money. And then you're in debt for the next 15 years of your life trying to pay that off. So what I'm trying to get is to the younger generation, or those that are tired of their 9-to-5 dead-end job. Maybe you don't have a dead-end job and you just like side hustle, right? What I'm trying to get across is a different way of making an income that somebody is not telling you how much you're going to be able to make. Because eBay will never tell you how much you can make, right? They'll never cap you. They might cap you in the beginning how many items you can list, but they actually do that, and they do that for a good reason. They do that because if you just start getting all batshit crazy and listing thousands of items a week, I don't think you're going to be able to build up you're not going to have a system built up good enough yet to be able to handle that. You're going to be like, holy shit, how am I going to handle packaging 200 items today myself, right? It's just unfeasible. You get overwhelmed and you'd probably quit. So it is better off that they start you out with I don't know, it's been so long since I started a new store. I think it was around 250 items. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me. They give you in the beginning. But that's about the gist of them putting limitations on how much money you can earn. As much effort as you can put in is as much effort or as much dollars you can make. So what I'm trying to tell you is if you want to put in 2 hours a day, well, you're going to get paid for 2 hours of time, right? If you want to put in 18 hours a day, if you want to put in 10, I always say it like this. If you put as many hours on eBay as you do at your 9-to-5, eBay will outpay your 9-to-5. I'm almost guarantee it. Unless you're making 3, 4, 5 grand a week or some crazy shit, right? But then I still think it might pay you all better. If you're putting 50 to 60 hours a week on eBay, I don't even know what them results would look like. I don't think I've ever put 50 or 60 hours in on eBay. 45, 40, you know what I mean? But through 50 to 60 hours a week, every single week for 6 months to a year, I've never done that, right? Right now where I'm at about between 30 and 40 hours a week, and I can only imagine doubling that, what the income amount would look like. It'd be a good salary. It'd be a good pay. So what I'm getting at is, I don't know anything else in a shorter period of time that you can build up to a great payout, right? You can actually profit from your very first item when it comes to reselling. If you if you start a brick and mortar, say even you rent out a building, whatever your rent is, say it's $1,500 with all utilities included. That's your internet, that's everything, right? Okay, now you're $1,500 in the hole, so you have to sell $1,500 of items before you can break even. Now that is on a minimum, guys. Most of the time, people that start a brick and mortar, especially if you build a brick and mortar, you're going to be in debt $100, $300, $500 just to get the door open. You got to have an inventory. You got to have somebody build the building. You got to have inspectors. You got to have insurance. You got to buy property. I mean, like, there's so much behind it, right? Where on eBay, truly, you can go to any Goodwill, anything. You can go to anybody. I could probably go into anybody in this group's closet and find a couple $100 worth of inventory to sell, if not $1,000 worth of inventory to sell, depending on how much stuff you have and depending on what type of stuff you have, right? So this is a very lucrative, in my opinion, business concept. And like the younger generation, I'm not judging the younger generation. I'm witnessing it with my own eyes. I talk to a lot of other people that have businesses, and this is what I keep getting. I don't know. I'm not hiring people yet. But what I keep getting from people running businesses and running companies, and they've been running them for 15, 20 years, they are saying the younger generations doesn't have patience. Now, look, maybe you're the younger generation, and you're not this. So just because if you're in the younger generation, don't like suck all this in and get offended and this is not coming from me. This is coming from very successful business owners that's been hiring people for 15, 20 years. They're saying they stay for 2 to 3 months. They don't see no growth and they leave. So if you do that on eBay, you're just going to fail, man. It's not a long enough time. I've said this in a lot of my videos, is most people overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in 10. If you can hold out on eBay for 2 to 5 years and just do what you do for 2 to 5 years, you'll be amazed by the results. If you think you're going to get in here in 2 months and make as much money as the guy or the girl that's been doing it for 6 years, you're out of your fucking gourd, man. You can't build on here. This is where I think there's a big. There's a bunch of lies going on YouTube. Okay, like, oh, this 90-day hack and you'll lose 150 pounds. Man, don't believe all that shit. Don't believe. And I'm not talking about losing weight, but I'm just trying to get you. There's going to be groups out there that say, if you do what I do and you pay for my group for $25 a month, in 6 months you make quadruple. Like, man, don't listen to them motherfuckers. Just do what you're doing and stay consistent, man. You don't got to pay for a group. You don't have to, and there's going to be a lot of people that have groups that you got to pay for that'll probably dislike that I'm saying this, but it's truthful. Why do you have to pay why would you pay for information that's free? Maybe it holds you accountable to, okay, maybe that's the only thing I can ever think of, right? I almost joined a Patreon group one time, and I'm like, why? I know exactly what I got to do. Like I tell everybody in this group, I talk about what I do on a daily basis. That's all you have to do. Take your photos, list your items, source. Take your photos, list your items, source. Take your photos, list your items, source. There's nothing more to it, right? Now, this isn't going to go over your slow times, your boring times, your driving. That's all part of it. Like, people, what I've noticed on the internet, when I watch very highly successful people, a lot of their comments, I read their comments in the videos, right? And a lot of them are like, what's the hack to your success? You are watching people. Okay, when I'm watching successful people, guys, I'm talking hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars, and so on and so forth, right? They're asking these billionaires, what's the hack? Are you fucking kidding me? They put 35 years of fucking hard work, and their first 10 years, they couldn't pay themselves, period. And people try eBay for 2 months and quit. You don't have the grit. When they're talking about you need the grit to win in business, you need the grit to succeed, it is going through them times. It's going through the moments where you think you're never gonna get there, but you still do it, right? You don't feel like you're ever gonna get any progress, but you keep fucking going. That's the grit. That's the grit. That's what you used to hear a lot in boxing. That boxer had heart, right? That boxer had heart. That boxer was getting his fucking ass beat, but he didn't give up because he had heart. He made it through the grit, and maybe in the 6th round, he knocked the other motherfucker out. I don't know. But reselling's a lot like that, man. You're not going to, look, you ain't going from today. Look, I'm going to tell you this, not just reselling, anything in business. You're not going to start anything today, and 6 months down the road, you're going to be able to flaunt and fucking show all the progress you made to your people. First of all, you shouldn't want to do that anyways, but that's what 90% of people do, right? Want to start something so they can drive something shiny, wear a big old fat necklace chain or a watch or whatever, right? They want to flaunt it so other people know that they're successful, right? Stupid. Number one, stupid. Don't do that. I mean, I got caught up in a little bit of that too with some motorcycles and shit I probably shouldn't have been purchasing in the beginning. We're probably, there's a lot of people that are going to get caught up in that, but don't get caught up in that. Do this for you and your family, right? Try to do it for you and your family. But if you think you're going to go from month 1 to month 6 and you're going to be driving a fucking Audi R8, you're what I said a little bit ago, you're way overestimating what you can achieve in a year and underestimating what you can achieve in 10. Most people only got the patience. I say it like this. Why not keep going? Right? Well, I don't want to wait 10 years. Well, hopefully you're going to be here 10 years down the road. And if you don't keep going, you're going to live in regret. That's the truth, right? Like, oh man, I don't know, man. I just don't really want to wait 2 years for the business to really take off. Well, then settle for the fucking living paycheck to paycheck. Right? That's the real grit behind it, and that's what will hurt people's feelings, but it's the truth. And the majority of the people do that in life, right? I did it for a very long time in my life, right? Well, I thought for many years, guys, way before I ever thought about reselling on eBay, way before I ever even had the courage to start something on my own, right? This shit takes courage. Look, and it might not be really, it's not a difficult task to do, right? It's take some photos on a whiteboard, right? That's not difficult. What's difficult is believing you can actually get some results with it and be okay with sucking from the meantime on, right? Because you're not going to be great at reselling in the beginning. You're not going to be great at anything in the beginning. Were you great the first time you picked up a baseball and threw it at your dad or your mom when they were playing catch? No, you probably sucked. You probably didn't even get it to them. Right? Now you might, in high school, you might have been the best pitcher on the league. I don't know, right? You're not going to be great at everything when you first get started. But if you keep going at it and keep chucking away at it within due time, you'll never have to work for anybody again if you don't choose to, right? Maybe you don't want to put in that work and you don't want, I don't know. No, you can't say that because I don't know anybody that don't want an excessive amount of money, right? And if they say, no, I don't really want extra money, something's wrong with them or they're lying. Right? Everybody would like a little more comfort in their life. There's millionaires that want more, okay? And it's okay to want. I got into reselling because I wanted to be able to do more things in my life financially, right? I wanted more financial stability. It's okay to want. Don't be afraid to want, man. I used to do that all the time. Man, it's greedy if I want more. Man, fuck that. You ought to see my I want list. It's like fucking, you wouldn't even believe what I have on my want list. You'd be like, dude, you ain't never going to achieve that, right? But I stretch for the fucking moon, right? There's many things that you should want for. And one is not to want a hack when it comes to reselling. If you're looking for a hack, I'm telling you what, right now, your why is never going to be strong enough, and you're probably never going to make it in any business in the world. Any business in the world. Unless you get lucky on some, I don't know, maybe you come up with an idea and you find some venture capitalists or something and they can do all the work, right? But if you're looking for a trick for the instant success, your fucking mindset is already so far off, you got to rewire that shit to another fucking method, man, because that method right there ain't never going to get you nowhere. It's not going to. I'll give you an example. I looked up to Arnold Schwarzenegger big time when I was younger, and he was like an icon to me. He just looked like a freaking action figure on stage, right? Well, I seen Arnold when he was on stage flexing and in his magazines. I didn't see the 18 years he put into bodybuilding to get him there. And then when I got his book and I read his book and I looked at what he looked like when he was 14 years old, I said, holy fuck, he looked just like me. Right? He was no bigger than me. He put fucking 18 years of work in to get to winning 8-time Mr. Olympia. Or was it 7 times? I forget. Ronnie Coleman had 8, or one of them had one more than the other, right? But anyways, he won the Mr. Olympia at least 7 to 8 times, right? But I seen him at his success, and I was thinking, I want to get there. But what I didn't see was the 18 years of grit it took him to get there. And once people start realizing, oh, you got all that grit in between, you start double thinking, do I really want this? Do I really want to put all that in? That's what makes people quit. They think it's fun and games till they realize there's no hack. And this is going to be the work you put in is what's going to be your payout. And if you don't keep doing it, your pay is going to stop. People start saying, man, it was easier at my end. 9 to 5. I don't got to. I don't got to work 7 days a week. And I'm not saying you got to work at 7 days a week on eBay. There's other ways around that, right? You list extra items Monday through Friday. You could have the weekend off too, right? I don't do that. I like to work 7 days a week. I don't know what it is. It's just in me. That's what I do. But most of it, like I said, I wanted to look like Arnold, and then I realized it would take me 18 years to look like him. And that dream got shot down real fast. I was like, God, I don't know if I'm that amount of discipline he put in to look like that, because anybody can look like that. Okay, no, I'm not taking anything from Arnold or any of the bodybuilders or female bodybuilders or anything like that, right? Anybody can look like that. Do 18 years of work at something, anybody can look like that. Okay, so my main reasoning for making this content, period, is to try to show some of the younger generation. And it don't even have to be the younger generation. Maybe it's people that's retired. It don't matter who it is. That through consistency and through believing in yourself, that anything is possible, right? It's possible. I think we are definitely, I know we are strongly going into a different generation, a different world. When I was growing up, my parents were not working from home. One of my parents are working from home right now, right? When I was growing up, I didn't hear my uncles coming over and my aunts coming over and my grandparents coming over talking about how many items they sold on Amazon. Why? Amazon didn't fucking exist. Okay, when they just didn't exist. We're going into a new realm. There's a lot of things going on actually with Amazon right now. Where pretty soon I have a strong feeling within the next 50 to 60 years, all these convenience stores you see out here aren't going to exist. So you to be able to just walk into a freaking Myers and say, hey, I want a job, that ain't going to happen. The only time that's going to happen is if you're in the back packaging up orders that people are making from their phone to get delivered to their house. That's the only jobs. And then they're making robots for them, right? Now, if you really want to look into that a little bit deeper, what are they going to do with eBay? Is eBay going to figure out how to have robots list items for eBay? So eBay can cut out us, the middlemen. I mean, if you really want to, things are changing fast. And I think it's important to look at things like that. Like, here's my thing for a young, I watched a whole video, and then I followed up with a story about this young kid with his dad in golf balls. I said it in my last video, or the last group we had. This kid was 15 years old. He started going out on the weekends with his dad for something to do. They lived close to a golf course, right? They go out, they pick up golf balls, and he'd put them on Marketplace, and he started making a couple dollars, right? Well, not long after that, his dad encouraged him, well, maybe we should try eBay, right? Tried out eBay. This kid, before he could drive, was making, coming back to him, it was like $10,000 to $12,000 a month from fucking used golf balls, right? Now, when I was growing up, my uncles, my mom, my dad, I don't think they had that option to be able to do that. With this younger generation, you have all the ability to make so much ridiculous amounts of money at a young age if you truly want to, right? Shit, by the time you graduate high school, you could buy your own house if you truly wanted to, right? This young boy that's 15 years old that sells the golf balls, guys, this isn't just a 1 month he had $10,000 in sales. This was 2 years ago I read this story, so I'd imagine he's even doing better than that now, right? They even built a little machine that washed the balls, and the dad was so cool how he did it with him, right? Washed the balls in the garage, and then it conveyor down, it counted the balls out, put them in a packet. It was so cool what they all designed for it. So I'd imagine the kid's probably doing 15 or maybe even 20,000. By the time that kid graduates high school, he'll be able to buy his own house or pay off his college tuition or whatever it is he wants to before he graduates school. Right? How did this kid do it? This kid had heart. This kid had grit. He did it day in and day out. He found something he enjoyed to do, and he was making money doing it. He blew his dad's mind. He was making triple the amount of income his dad was making. His dad had an 8-year degree. Now, you imagine looking down at your son that's 15 years old and giving him his check that's 3 times bigger than yours. And he didn't have a master's. He had I think he had a bachelor's degree. Right? I forget exactly what he was. I'd have to get back into the story. But would you imagine doing that? Like that, man, that'd be rewarding. Or you'd feel like a dumbass. Like, you know what I mean? Like, damn, my kid's making triple the amount of money I make, and I'd be proud. I'd be very proud of him, right? And back him completely. This is what's out there and available. And I just don't, here's what I think a lot of people that get started reselling believes, because I believe this too. It's not possible for me, right? It's just not possible for me. Why isn't it possible for you? Why isn't it? Why do you think me? I'm not nearly as close to as big as some of the guys you see on YouTube that's doing millions of dollars in sales, right? But if we had a few people working for us, we could get there too, and so can you. This is why I always try to encourage people to just do the work and try to learn how to enjoy the process. I'm going to tell you right now, the process ain't always fun. I don't know how many times I threw boxes across the room, upset, discouraged, no sales today, low sales today, how am I going to eat tomorrow? I had a lot of that going on. We don't have to worry about that so much anymore. I'm not saying I don't toss a box every now and again and say a cuss word, but if you can get through them gritty fucking times, if you can get through the times that suck, right? If you can get through the stale moments and do it every day, eventually eBay will, what you want to do with eBay is build a relationship with eBay that you are committed and you're a daily lister. Once they believe that to be true, as many items as you list a day is as many items you will sell a day, and I can confirm that 1000%. Now, is that going to take you 3 months? Probably not. It's going to take you longer to do that. You have to build a rapport. Now, look, I give the example of this. You just walk in at an entry-level job. It's a shop job, and you're working on the line, right? Now, do you think you're going to hit top pay as an entry-level guy or girl walking into the shop within 3 months, within 8 months? Do you think you're going to be the do you think you're going to be the fucking president or the CEO of the company in an 8-month period of time? No, why? Because you have to build trust and loyalty with the company you're working for. Okay, anybody, look, I'm going to say it like this, and I'm really good at doing this. I can be really great at anything for 90 days. I can stay committed to something really fucking easy for 90 days. After that 90-day period, I'm like, man, this shit's kind of getting bored. I'm the type of guy, I said it in many videos before, I'll start 99,000 projects. Yeah, but come on, how many of you women in this group know a man that's got 55 fucking projects started and they only got one finished, if any finished, right? That's me, right? I lose interest in shit really fast. And a lot of people do. But if you cannot lose the interest, or even when you do lose the interest, use the discipline to keep yourself going, it'll happen in anything you do. It doesn't have to just be reselling. It could be anything. It could be any business. It could be exercise and fitness. It could be anything. It could be eliminating bad habits out of your diet. Whatever it is, right? If you work on it, like this is seriously a bad habit. I always say it's better than me drinking alcohol. But in the same sense, it still is bad for you, right? The amount of caffeine I drink a day is probably not good for my sleeping pattern. It's probably not good for a lot of shit, right? But literally, if you just don't give up during the I can't word it any better than the mind fuck times, right? Our mind is what stops our progress 99% of the time, because it's not like your body can't do it day in and day out. I'm not telling you got to be doing this shit from 9 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock, and I don't do that shit, right? I know. I set a time, about 5 p.m. I come down, sometimes it's a little bit later, sometimes it's a little bit earlier. I go pick up my fiance between 10 and 10:30, bring her home, and then I work till midnight, right? Usually done at midnight. Sometimes I'll go over a little bit if I'm feeling amped up and juiced up and add a couple more listings, right? But you don't have to kill yourself at this neither. But if you did, you get better results, right? So this isn't something... It's just, it really boils down to discipline and focus. If you are a very disciplined person and focused person, you will fucking kill it on eBay. You will kill it. And discipline is, the only thing discipline is doing the shit you know that's got to get done when you don't want to do it, right? Anybody can do anything when they want to do it and they're excited to do it, right? But what do you do when you don't want to do it? Right? What do you, and that's what employees are looking for. That's why you're not going from entry level in the shop to CEO position in 8 months. You ain't been there long enough. They haven't dictated your pattern yet. They don't even know. They want to know in 4 years when shit gets irritating and all the pressure comes on, how are you going to react? Right? You handle it good, you react good, well, you might start moving up the corporate ladder. And don't get me wrong, it's not going to take you 4 years to move up the corporate ladder in a shop or whatever, or eBay. I'm just giving you an example. You know, there's been exceptions of people moving up to damn near CEO position in 2 years, 3 years. So why couldn't you? Right? And the same goes with eBay. eBay's they're testing you. They're testing you. Okay, he's been consistent for 365 days. Let's see what he does on the 366. They are literally testing you. And if you prove to them that you'll list every day a certain amount of items, I think you could do, I personally think if you could list $10, $20 items every single day, okay, eventually you're going to sell $10, $20 items a day, which is going to be $200. You multiply $200 a day, days, you do the math. It takes me an hour to list 10 items. So out of an hour out of my day, I can make $200 a day. Well, I'm not literally making 200 because eBay gets their, but you're still making an extra $100 a day, $115, $125 a day from an hour a day work. Once you build up a system, right? You're not going to do that when you first get started. And that's what I was thinking. Oh my God, there's people on there making $3,000 in a day. And I'm thinking, I'm just going to jump right in there and get there in 3 months. It's not going to happen that fast for you, right? It's just not going to, unless you go batshit crazy and you list for 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, 31 days in a month, 365 days in a year, then you could probably get there really fast. But me at 41, I almost said 42, right? At 41, if I had the energy, I mean, I still have energy, but if I had the energy I had when I was 20, oh, I would be doing that. If I thought the way I did today, when I was 20, by the time I'm my age now, I think we would be damn close to millionaires. Because I would have realized that it doesn't take a special skill to run a business, okay? It doesn't, you don't have, it's not your education. It's not your, and people will get offended by that, there are some businesses you build there, and so don't get me wrong, that a certain, like, if you're going to start your own law firm, you probably should have a law degree, right? I get it, but a store like this where I'm reselling clothes, you don't need a fucking degree, right? So you don't need a degree. You don't got to be smart. You don't even got to be graduated high school, and you can do millions of dollars in sales in a year within time. Anybody can. I didn't think it was possible for me to even, do what we're doing today. I'm not even close to where I want to be, but I'm a lot happier where I'm at today than where I was last year and the year before and the year before, right? So I just want to stress that to, especially, like I say, the younger generation or anybody that's reselling. Don't get discouraged. Don't think that you can't do it, man. There's nothing. I've said it in many of my videos for almost 25 years. I was a junkie. I was a loser. I was, probably a shitty kid. I was a disappointment for many years of my life, right? To my community, not only my community, my parents, my family, everybody. Like, for 25 years of my life, I fucked my life up. So if you think that, I'm talking in and out of prisons, I'm talking alcohol, drug use, all kinds of crazy shit, right? If I can do all that, stop all that, start something like this, and then try to encourage people to do the same thing, your excuse can't be much worse. No, I'm not saying your struggle wasn't worse than mine, because everybody's got their own struggle, right? You don't got to go to prison to be able to. Matter of fact, it ain't nothing I'm happy about by no means, but you don't have to go somewhere like that for your life to be a struggle. Something could have happened in your home. You know what I mean? You could have got picked on at school. I mean, there's a million different ways that people struggle with, and everybody goes through some type of struggle, right? But why I share them stories of the 25 years of me being basically a loser, right? Why I share them stories is to help encourage people that might have struggled through some of the same shit to realize that there is hope for you to make enough amount of income to support you and your family very comfortably. There is a fucking way to do it. And you don't have to go into a business and give them a resume and pass a background check. You know how many people would turn me down if I was going to look for $40, $50 an hour, right? If I was going to go to a job trying to get paid that, they would run a background history of my past and see my past and be like, oh, absolutely not. You're at the entry level and you'll always be there, right? Because I fucked up my past. So it doesn't matter what you did in your past. I said it in one of my last videos. You could have murdered somebody and now you're home from prison or whatever. Right? And you want to rekindle your life and you want to be able to take care of your family and you want to make a difference in your life. eBay is a perfect opportunity. You are not going to fill out an application for eBay and I'm saying, hey, do you got any felonies? Hey, have you ever been evicted? Hey, have you ever done this? Hey, they're not going to ask you any of that shit, right? I mean, maybe I've made funnies in my past group. Like, you can literally, if you want to, you can list naked. Like, you're not going to get fired, dude. eBay will let you list tomorrow. It doesn't matter. You can't get fired from eBay. There's no expense. You can go straight in your closet. It don't cost you nothing to start on eBay, right? Now, once you get a store package or things like that, it costs you X amount of dollars, but you use that as a write-off at the end of the year anyways. So you really don't pay that $60 anyways. You know what I mean? It's just a tax write-off at the end of the year. So what I really want, what I really try to encourage and why I make these videos is to show people, hey, look, the old pushing the pen to the paper and trying to get in a job that's going to be secure, it's not a must anymore, man. It's not, it used to be that way when I was growing up. Like, look, you had to go work for somebody else, right? I didn't have capital in the beginning. And I guess, you know what? You didn't need capital back then either. You just need to believe in yourself and learn about loans and get A1 credit so you could take out a loan and start a business, right? I just never did something like that. So it doesn't, you don't have to have a bunch of money. You can go in your closet, you can go in your garage, you can go in the trash. We've made thousands of dollars out of people's trash. There's a million different ways to get started on eBay, right? There's a million different ways. There's a million different items you can sell. There's over 7 million resellers. There's over 360 million active buyers a month. That is ridiculous numbers. Can you even fathom how many people are on eBay looking for shit every day? It is ridiculous. That many people don't go through a Walmart in a month. There ain't no fucking way. Now, I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying not all the Walmarts, but 360 million in your local area? That ain't happening. It ain't happening, man. It's just not happening. That is a lot of traffic. So your odds, if you list every single day and the bigger you get your fish, like right now we're at 5,200 and some odd items in inventory. I'd like to get it to double that within another, 6 months to 8 months. In order to do that, I'm going to have to really double down, right? I'm going to have to double down. I'm going to have to get really focused and do double the amount of items I'm doing now. And in order to get it up there, but that's neither here nor there. Depending on what you're selling, if you're going to sell clothes, plan on building a big store or get high-end items. And you could probably make it with 100 to 1,000 items in your store. The type of items I have, there ain't no way I'm making it with 100 to 1,000 items in my store. I'm not saying you can't do all right with that amount of inventory in your store, okay? But if you plan on building a clothes store and you're selling items like me, priced between $8 and $40, yes, we have some higher end items, some $1,000 items and things like that. But it's very few, and I'm sit for a while. Anyways, I'd rather sell the bread and butter ones we sell on a daily basis, and we sell a good quantity of them, right? In order to do that, you're going to have to sell X amount of items a day. You're going to have to sell 25, 30, 45, 100 items a day if you want to make a substantial income. It's possible, man. Anybody can do it. It's your boy Flippin' Stu.